Hey guys, it's Adam. Unfortunately, Steve couldn't make this recording session. So I had Alex Grupas join me, regular guest. He's been on a ton of episodes. And for the first time, we're joined by our friend Jake Woltering. He tells a ton of funny stories. You're going to love him. It's a great podcast. Don't worry, Steve will be on for the next one. As usual, make sure you're subscribed and following everywhere. Find all of our information on Instagram. Please spread the word about the podcast if you enjoy it. I promise you guys are going to enjoy this one. This is probably the most fun I've had on a podcast. No offense to Steve, but Jake just is that funny. As always, thank you and enjoy the podcast.
Welcome to the Standing O podcast.
Did you?
I doubled my money.
Do you remember when you dipped your toe into Korean baseball?
Yeah. Oh no, I still.
You'd be like, send me a Snapchat at work. You're like, it's the third inning right now. It's like 7 a.m. I'm like, what are you watching?
No, the height of Korean baseball was David was working overnights, and the games are like 3 a.m. to like 6 a.m. here, and so David was working overnights and was getting off work at like 5 a.m. and I was like getting up around like 5:30, so he'd see the beginning of the game and be talking shit, and each of us just like picked random teams. We found an article that was like, okay, you're an MLB fan with no MLB. How do you? Which Korean baseball team should you like? So they had like pro comparisons. You're like, this is the best franchise, all the money, snobs. These are the Yankees. These are like David picked the one that was just related to the Cardinals. They ended up winning it all actually that year.
And the fans just kept telling them how great themselves
they were the best fans.
Absolutely, best fans in baseball.
Best fans in baseball. Best fans in Korean baseball. Didn't even need that qualifier. Just
the
all
best.
But yeah, I picked the Kawum Heroes just based on the mascot. I think his name's Mr. Jaw because he's just this big like.
What was the team name? It was something.
My team name was the Heroes. David picked the Dinos.
Okay, yeah.
And the mascot was Mr. Jaw?
Mr. Jaw, because he's just this big guy with a big head and a big jaw, like big chiseled jaw, like he's supposed to look like a hero, I guess. And so he's Mr. Jaw. And
that's I think part of the hero, just the persona, is you have to have a lot of underbite or just like a giant
you need to just look aggressive. Yeah.
And
who's that fella?
This
Can
guy.
you get Korean internet here?
That's the guy.
Aren't they just on our internet? What do you mean Korean internet?
That is chisel. Well, because of net neutrality. So don't follow up on that.
I forgot about
Let's get into that, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's get into that.
net.
How do you guys feel about
neutrality? I remember that being a thing for like a month.
You guys are
And
taking
they were
away
like,
our
if you don't
neutrality.
sign this petition, you are for the Nazi. Yeah, it was
the media is gonna control what you can and can't see after that, and that was like a small Y2K.
But like, was it actually? Yeah, it was like a Coney or like a Y2K, where it's
yeah,
like people got
Coney.
worked up.
That was another good one. People got worked up about Coney.
Yeah.
Do you remember Coney? He was like the child
high school,
soldier.
I remember
And then it turned out
really
he was like
moved
a
on
horrible
YouTube
person.
for a while.
Yeah.
And that I think it was then.
Yeah.
The rest I kind of blocked out, but I was
Yeah.
like, this is the time.
Like
And,
Coney's an issue. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I was ready to do something about it.
Yeah.
If you give me another month, I would have put my foot down.
You have a pretty good jawline. I think you could have done something.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it would have been
hero
heroic. I don't have that good of a jawline. That's. I mean, it works. It's formidable. Which, by the way, again, what's that? Don't answer that. I said it wasn't good, and you're like, and I'm like, well, it's good enough, and you're like, I'm like, well, which?
If you need to argue on the behalf of your own jaw, I'll get you that.
That's nice of you.
Can you get like plastic surgery to get like a better? Like, people get noses. And
I'm
stuff,
sure you
but
can.
I never see
people
do-
get cheekbones.
Yeah.
That would be a fun instrument to get into. Like, everyone gets into guitar or piano every once in a while. Bass and drums, you hear. Like, getting into the oboe or the French horn or the bassoon would be a lot of fun.
I went bassoon there.
No.
Have you guys seen Max Keeble's big move by chance?
It's been a bit, but yeah.
It's been a bit, but yeah.
Sarah, when I come out of the shower, I just dry my hair, and I'm not used to having long hair still after like a year, and it's just straight up. And I'll walk around like that, and she always says I look like Max Keeble.
Okay.
It's a good look. I'll send you a picture next time.
Does he play the bassoon?
So he does. And that's where I think the love interest, the hot girl.
Was this in the director's cut? I don't remember.
Well, because he says for sure, I know this. Okay. I'll see you bassoon.
Okay, so that sticks.
They probably made that line, and they're like, now he has to play the bassoon.
Yeah,
we have this.
Someone was like, so I once thought of that, and then they're like, well, we're gonna write that into the next movie we make.
Wrote the movie around
that line.
I was like, all right,
that's the elevator pitch.
Moving, or
so
we got
this kid who plays a bassoon.
Yes.
We'll think of some other stuff later to fill the script, obviously, but that's what we got.
Orlando Brown has a suit and a suitcase. Josh Peck wears a robe.
Josh Peck's in it?
He's
the bully?
His name is Robe.
Yeah.
He's the other friend.
Oh, I thought he was
There's the
bully.
girl and then
the bully is the blonde guy. You know exactly who he is. McGinty. That's who it is. Yep.
Yes. He is, of course, in Shameless. Yep.
What is Hatfields and McCoys?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know that miniseries everybody's seen? We should probably all drink at the same time. Dead air.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Dead air.
It's like, oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I know.
Should I just describe it? And then I take a sip and I go, Grupas. No way.
Dead air. Dump it on her head. So we are in 2 wars.
I don't want to get in the mind of a dog.
I was just talking to Steve about, because I bought 2 new mics so I can start doing stuff here. Because I guess for the listeners, I fired Steve. So it's a bad look. I understand.
You had creative.
Yeah, and he's
creative differences. Yeah.
And that's how get a meeting out of your hand. That's like the Frank when he's like teaching Charlie how to be it's the warthog one.
Always Sunny.
Frank's back in business.
Right, yeah.
That is how I run Stand and Know. It's just getting Steve to think that he has power while just getting him to set up the stuff that I don't know how to work. And so far it's working well.
That's nice.
Because you saw me try to do it without him.
Was it without him?
Well, yeah. I mean, he wasn't here. He had given me the equipment, then we found out.
He probably would never been on the podcast if he didn't know how to do that stuff in the first place.
That's true.
That's how he got his foot in the door.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, if anything, he is
ran
like,
his course. Yeah,
he is out shooting his coverage. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So if I knew how to set up mics, I could be on so many more podcasts.
You could be a regular on this podcast. If all you have to do is being able to set up the equipment as good as Steve and just be slightly more interested in him. There's no loyalty in the podcast biz. I never thought of the story that you told me this weekend. It's really disappointing.
So there was you did not give me a lot, but that's fine
because
it was the last 48 hours. I was like, did I talk to Adam? I don't know.
Yeah, but, I mean, clearly we hung out 2 days in a row. So
pretty good week. Huh?
Not a bad weekend. Not a bad weekend. Yeah, and I just could not remember it. I remember thinking, great story for the pod, but
it could have been. But it's like,
for the listeners, no, it would have been.
Been killer. So just
overhype. You're right.
Continue to tune in every time we have Jake on to know we got one heater in particular coming your way.
Break into the pot, guys. I remember. Okay, so here it was. It'll be in a really just serious discussion.
And we have a lot of those. Clearly.
Well, I'm caught up. So
I brought up the story to Joe and Kelly because we got McDonald's on the way back from the draft. Which I feel like you have to on the way back from
Kingdom
the lake.
City?
Yeah, and the Kingdom City McDonald's.
It's like there's a toll booth, and it's like you have to go through almost.
So how often do you guys get McDonald's now?
Very rarely.
Yeah, I get it really only on road trips and stuff. Yeah. Like road trips out of town. If I'm visiting the Chicago guys and we just go somewhere close.
McDonald's cup in his hand. It's
define road trip because you could go anywhere, maybe.
Yeah,
sure, there's
really
one
be a
5
road
minutes
trip.
from my house.
Yeah, McDonald's, and it's not my go-to. I'm not a fast food elitist. It's just not my go-to. Taco Bell's my go-to. When I want fast food.
Funny you mention that because Taco Bell is right now the pick for fast food. Mm-hmm. So Amber is. I mean, it's been. I don't know. She doesn't like to put labels on it, quote unquote, but she's a pescatarian. She's just the fish, and then
She's
never eat a vegetable.
pesto, yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know,
She's very pesky about her food.
yeah, that's what it derives from. The origin of Greece, I think.
Yeah, that's the etymology. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there.
Etymology. All
word of
right.
the day.
All right. Top word ever used on the pod. Etymology.
Some type of bug. So she likes the Taco Bell items a lot better than most because it's just like unless you have those new like Impossible or Beyond Burgers, no dice, right? Cause,
Right. Yeah.
or it's exclusively fish. So
Yeah.
that's why Taco Bell usually. It was funny. We were coming home one night from I think we were playing volleyball out on Mid Rivers, and if you keep going down, there is a Chick-fil-A down there. So Chick-fil-A most of the time does not have fish, but like Lenten season they'll bring it around for you heathens out there. So
Yeah.
that's the non-meat holiday for the
I wonder if there's any sort of like conspiracy to be had about the fish industry like propping up the Catholic Church ever.
it's gotta be
You think
There's-
they're like this is huge for us?
There's
Yeah.
got to be
This
like
is
people
yeah.
like they probably check the numbers of like like young people aren't as religious now, and they're probably like finding propaganda
push
ways.
people.
They're like,
Yeah.
we got to get more young people aren't being Catholic, and there goes our fish quotas.
Yeah.
There goes our
Fish
our busy.
quotas.
Can you imagine
Fish quota.
working for
Just a big red
working for
arrow.
big fish, and you're like, oh, it's a busy season, like the tax season. It's busy season. It's Lent. You know, we got to move some product out there. It's like in like Ozark, whatever. The like their vacation season, if you own like a place at the lake or
Right,
something
yeah.
like that, determines how you live for the rest of the year. If you're in the fish industry, you got to make your money in Lent.
I gotta make my nut.
Yeah, I know.
Or
You
we
can-
are screwed. Easter hits and
Yeah.
we don't make it.
You can get 10 and a half months of vacation off of one good Lent.
Yeah, but no, that's a Jim Woltering exclusive. Is he would always say, well, if they were cattle farmers over there, then we had meat on Fridays.
That's funny.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
I don't-
Probably.
I don't know, man.
I don't- yeah, I don't
Big
know.
Pasture.
That's hilarious.
So we were in the drive-thru the other day. We're trying to get fish. Just she was like, hey, I think they got fish sandwich, and like I love some Chick-fil-A, so I was like, let's try that one. And we went through the drive-thru, and this girl is taking our order, and it's Chick-fil-A, so like she is right there.
Yeah.
She's got the little
They're-
iPad.
yeah.
It is not in the building. It's my pleasure. So it's amazing. And so she's standing there, and she's like, hey, welcome to Chick-fil-A. What can I get you? And I said, hey, do you guys have fish? And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I had
She
asked
thought you
for
were an
something.
idiot. She thought you were an idiot.
Like you're literally like a time traveler, and you're just like, what year is it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'm like, you guys still got fish in this time? I literally was like, so, like, you guys got a fish sandwich? And she just goes, we've got spicy. And I was like a
spicy
Like a-
what?
yeah,
Spice-
like a spicy fish sandwich. And she goes, oh no, like their other chicken sandwich. She just thought I thought it was great because she was looking at me. I pulled up and she thought,
Oh, so
this
she's
guy.
This is even. I had forgot you said they're right up on you, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I thought you were talking through the little speaker thing, and
no,
I'm like,
she is giving and like the utter confusion because I asked for a fish sandwich and I was like, well, what do you think of me other than this guy is clearly looking for some flavor?
uh-huh.
And it cranks it up to 11.
Yeah, maybe it's like this
Fish
this Cajun guy is in here. He's looking for some fish, and we go, hey,
Not to
we
worry,
use similar
sir.
spices on our spicy chicken sandwich. I think you should try it.
Not to worry, we have spicy. I'm like, oh, thank God. I was sick of that
That-
bland-ass chicken. I was looking for a baked cod sandwich.
Getting a confused
Oh, God.
what, like not a what I didn't hear you, but like what? And like if you've worked at like food places, like everyone can hear, and I just imagine it's pretty much like the SpongeBob inside his brain of them just like
Running
looking
around.
around, like everyone's
What's his
freaked out,
name?
like we've never got that question because they're so efficient and polite with their questions. I feel like
especially there.
every answer they have is rehearsed. So they're like, we don't get this question. We don't have. How do I work my? They're like, do you have fish? The pleasure, mine. Like they don't know how to. They don't know how to politely say no. Like.
Here's your drink. How many sauces would you like? And just like
I just
circuits in the middle of a Home Depot
put a bunch
parking
of
lot.
spicy salt in a cup and gave it to him.
Yeah, just get out of here. I was like, all right, thanks. And
I'm
I just
sorry.
left. I was like, yeah, you know, like you guys, you're gonna be busy. I don't want to.
We'll just go to Captain D's or something.
Oh, but that's the trick. Is every time Amber and I go out to eat, it's a little adventure because. I will eat anywhere.
You'll eat anything, yeah.
And she can't. And so, like, fast food places, especially, they're not, you know.
Yeah.
And she's.
I know what I got time for that.
Some of the things doesn't just like anyway. And so it's like, we go anywhere, it's got to have a fish option, and then it's got to be something good fish option.
Yeah, that's.
And so, like, Panda E, I was there the other day.
Panda E. I didn't know that's what we're shortening it to. I'm gonna need to make note of that. I thought we just called it Panda or Panda Express.
You guys are not fast foodies, I see. So I'll hook you up with the jargon. It's Panda Express.
Yeah. Okay.
And so yeah, well, you know, you gotta explain. You don't want to leave anybody out. It's an inclusive pod. It's an inclusive pod.
That reminded me. The way that she said "what" reminded me of the Best Buy. Guy with the rewards card. Exactly. You know, the John Mulaney. Do you want a Best Buy rewards card?
Oh, I wish. And I, like, literally, and I'm just standing there, and the guy was, you know, it's just me and him. Amber walked away, and I check out, and you know how anytime they ask, for those who actually, you know,
which
don't know this kid.
Also, don't you feel like they walk, like you said, Amber walked away. It's never when someone else is there. No. The weird scenarios. I was at Pickleman's and I was hungover, and like Sarah told me to like get her food, and so I had that on the mind, and plus just like, you know me in sandwich places, like I'm gonna struggle ordering them.
I've been there for
yeah.
there for once. So.
You taught me essentially how to ride a bike equivalent of ordering sandwiches.
I was proud.
Though yeah, and like I had ordered, I'm like, you know, the 17 with this and then the 10 with this. And then she's like, the person making the sandwich says something to the cashier. And then the cashier says, hey, we just switched them up. And I'm like, oh, what's that? He's like, the ingredients. And she's like, and she says something else. She's like, oh, no, never mind. We fixed it. And like, I think I was like, hey, number 10, no tomatoes. Number 17, add banana peppers and onions or something.
Right.
And they just accidentally switch that up, which is fine, but like I think they were gonna give it to me anyways, and I'd be like, well, that's not how, like, I ordered a thing. You can't purposely give me the wrong thing. I understand mistakes happen, but don't just hand me food.
You messed it up and then
hand me food and go, it's wrong, and hand it to me and I go, thanks. You have a nice day.
In aggregate, we have all the ingredients.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys go home,
you switch them yourself.
Yeah, you can make your own syrup, guys.
I know.
Me, they're in the bag.
Yeah, we got them.
Not sure where, but you'll find them. And just, you know, just lay it back out when you get home.
This is not an IKEA thing. Now, that could be fun. You just order all the ingredients, and it's an assemble-at-home sandwich situation.
You're talking about a grocery store.
Well, I guess one could say the deli counter at Schnucks pulls off that sort of service. See, that's why you're here. That's a really good point.
That's a I never thought my sandwich was mid-century modern. I come in like, wow, that's sleek.
But anyway, sorry.
Jimmy John's skinny sandwiches.
Anyways,
we were at Panda Express, and like they actually had another option, because you know how they always have their featured option is something. And this week it was like firecracker shrimp, you know, something really to get the kids excited, like ooh, you know. So they come on, and this is not a person this time. It's not Chick-fil-A, so it's just through the speaker. And it's just this young girl, and she just comes on. Hey, welcome to Panda Express. Would you like to try the firecracker shrimp? And we're like, yeah, actually, that'd be great. And then there was just too long of a silence. And she goes, oh, no. oh no, I am so sorry. We're actually all out of the firecracker shrimp. And I was like, okay. And so me and Amber
It's fine.
Yeah, I was like,
you seem more upset than us.
You asked us.
didn't even know
You
those
sold
were
it to us.
10 seconds
We
ago.
didn't come here for that.
Yeah.
So don't sweat it.
and she was like, oh, and I was like, she just went into routine mode. And so like we got whatever the other shrimp. It's the honey walnut. I go a lot. It's the honey walnut shrimp. So I'm just like, no problem. We'll go honey walnut. And then I'm like, and then I'll do like string bean chicken. She goes, yeah, okay, sorry about. Oh man. Oh, that's gonna be like 6. I'm so sorry. We'll be
Jesus
friends.
Christ.
And I was like, double.
You're an
chicken.
emotional person. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
okay.
like, just double. She thought like it was like she was at Tokyo and
Yeah.
she had been training for 5 years because of the the extra year, and then it just didn't go right. And I was like,
I want to
it's
like
not that big.
in Scrubs, Dr. Cox says like the second you start blaming yourself for things that happen in here, you're not gonna make it. You want to say that to her at a fast food level. The second you start blaming yourself for the lack of firecracker chicken, you're not gonna make it in this biz.
Like the tough vet with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
over at Panda Express. Like, people make
We're
mistakes out
gonna
here
lose
every day.
people out here.
Yeah.
Not everyone's strong enough. I understand if you're not, but this is the way of telling if you're strong enough or not.
Oh no, that rice was a little under. Oh god. Hey.
But
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
You're gonna
gonna-
kill
it's
somebody.
gonna happen.
Wait, no. Wait, that's not here.
that's not. This is the wrong industry for
That's
that.
too far. You do not.
But anyways, that wasn't. So we went when I said, anyways, continue, and then you went way back to Panda Express. I forgot we were talking about that. I was talking about the Best Buy story.
Ah. Did I go to Best Buy? That's hilarious. So we did.
You just go, what Best Buy store? I go, I don't know. It's been a minute.
You gotta have one. Everyone has one.
Everyone's got a good one.
Everyone's got one.
Yeah. All right, I'm dust off an old Best Buy store. Here we go.
That's a great podcast where we're the Best Buy podcast. You come on, tell your Best Buy story.
Okay, I got a classic.
I got one for you.
So there I was.
And I'm in that home theater section, and this guy comes up like.
And you know how sometimes you stand in the circle of speakers and you hit all the buttons?
Yeah, you're looking at the Magnavox, huh? So I do have. So we were at the counter, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check out whatever. And they always ask you, hey, do you have a Best Buy rewards card? And most places I don't. So I'm just like, no, don't have one. And the guy just like, I don't know if he just wanted to like bond with me, be a little casual. He just goes, do you maybe just want to go for it? And I was like, I thought he was propositioning me to like go try some hand stuff in the back. Like, I thought he was like, hey, like
He saw Amber walk away, and he's like, listen, man, you want to just go for it.
It's a great way to sell someone on it.
Yeah.
Because it's
What-
such
exactly.
off-putting that you're like, oh my god.
I was just like, no.
Yeah.
And that's not something I need to go for. I
Yeah.
either want one or I don't.
You sure?
Usually they're just like, oh, it's easy. Just put your email in. This guy was like,
Yeah.
You want to just go for it.
go for it.
Like, that's no way to live life if you're not willing to, go for it.
I stared at a lake for a while. I came right back and I was like, yeah.
I do want to go
what?
for it. I'm tired of living in this body and not going for it.
The Best Buy was closed for 6 months.
Another McDonald's story was one that, again, now we're going way back. Remember I talked about
We go halfway through a story and then we go back to
The-
it about an hour later.
It's
There's one
like a
in that
Tarantino
Best Buy.
movie. I feel like we're gonna
I'm
start.
trying to buy some fish.
I started
That's
off.
why.
Yeah. So we're at Best Buy. I'm in the fish market. But no. So I
Choking
was.
in feet too, but oh no.
Jesus Christ.
It's cinematic.
So I told them the story of like, because we were in the we had gotten the food and we're like passing it all back. And is it mayonnaise that they put on the McChicken?
Yes.
I never get the
Yeah.
McChicken.
And
I've got it a few times.
It's
It is just shredded lettuce
Yep.
and
a bunch of mayonnaise.
usually too much.
Exactly.
exclusively.
Too much. And I really don't like. I would rather have no mayonnaise than some, and then I would rather have some than a lot.
Than a lot, yeah.
And that's not what you get with the McChicken. You get a lot of mayonnaise.
Yes.
And so I always forget to ask for no mayo. And I was in the back seat and David and Jake were in the front. And I get into the food already. And I'm eating and I go, nice. I go, I completely forgot to ask with no mayo and they forgot to put it on anyways. And Jake goes, oh, so McChicken doesn't have mayo on it? I go, yeah, and I didn't even ask for it. So you didn't ask for no mayo and they didn't put mayo? I go, yeah. And he goes, I asked for no mayo. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just housed your McChicken.
I can scrape it off with this one. Yeah.
He's in the back, good looking out, McDonald's.
Not a bad day.
Yes, they were. I knew they had a feeling.
And they did it, and you didn't even ask for it. And I wish you would have dwelled on it more. Like, do you think that's strange that it didn't happen?
You're like, isn't it strange?
Yeah.
It is. It's,
And I would be like, I mean, but it's a strange world. It's a strange world.
sometimes you get lucky.
And you go,
Sometimes win.
Happen, right?
Yeah.
And you go, not that strange, because I said no mayo, so they didn't put it on it.
Oh my God.
I felt so bad. I was like, you're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's another time I was at.
Threw it away.
I was,
No.
it was in college, super hungover, and I wanted to get the 50-piece McNugs. And I'm like, I shouldn't want to get this, but I just woke up and I was so hungry. I wanted it. It wasn't going to be a one sit-in, but I was like, I'll come home. There's like Sam and Joe decided not to go. It was just me and Kelly. And I was like, they'll want some, it'll be great. For sure. And Kelly's like, I don't think they have that on the menu anymore. And I'm like, well, I'm getting it.
We'll figure it out.
And I'm like, I just wanted to okay, here's the thing. I'm going to give you, tell the cashier, I'm giving you my card. And I'm walking out of here with 50 McNuggets. You ring up whatever you'd like. Yeah. Do 2 20 pieces, a 10 piece, do 5 10 pieces. Ring up a dozen McFlurries. Charge me whatever. This is a very interesting opportunity for you. Your manager would be disappointed if you turned it away. Charge me whatever, but give me that. That's all I'm asking for, is I'm walking out of here with 50 McNuggets. Obviously, none of that happened. I probably just got a 20 piece or 2 10s or something. And next best thing, but
everybody has those ambitions though, the 50 piece. And then you're like,
that was a fun era in McNuggets.
It really was, but it like that situation, it doesn't take much to be like, oh, snap out of it. Well, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Where do you see an obesity spike in America during the 50 piece? Because
that's a the boardroom pitch for that, and they're just like, yeah, but why? If they want that many, they can just order multiple, and it's like, yeah, but they don't know they want that many yet until they see it on the menu, okay? And that's how American fast food works. You put it on the menu, then they know they want it.
What a nice round number. I will take 50. What do you think? Let's do 50.
We were watching just TV, and there was some terrible commercial for, the movie Training Day? And they made a show of it.
Yes.
And it was, it had Bill Paxton in it. And then Bill Paxton died after a season and a half of it. I don't know if they wrote him out to just finish the season or if they were just well, we're done. But Bill Paxton was playing the Denzel role of the kind of corrupt cop, but you're like, all right, he also does stand for what's right, and the other guy's more by the book, but also hey, you can do good without this. And the pitch was just the cheesiest, literally a Family Guy type thing. It's you've got the grizzled cop who likes to do things by his own way. And then you got the young jet fresh out of the academy. And I'm this is a bit. And I would just love them to hear, they show their producers a trailer and they go, what? This looks like a joke. People are going to watch it. And them just go, yes, they fucking will. Yes, they will. This show has been made before and they're still going to watch it.
Bet. Oh, damn. That's always oh, God. You just think, oh, that's been redone, and it's that's because it worked.
That's why we redid it.
Well, they made Lethal Weapon into a show. Remember? And then they got rid of...
Sean William Scott and somebody else I thought was that one, and then they...
Was it Marlon Wayans or Damon Wayans? It was one of the Wayans brothers, the one that plays Coach in New Girl. But they had the guy that played the new MacGyver reboot being Mel Gibson's character. And then it just wasn't doing well enough. So I don't know if they killed him off or if they were just hey, it's Sean William Scott now. Same character.
Same
just
guy.
deal with it.
Fucking
new actor.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the second guy. That is insane.
Yeah, that they were just like, hey, we need to bring in someone. So I would have loved to know if they wrote out the other guy and wrote in Sean William Scott, or if they're just like, hey, same character, but Sean William Scott's doing it, so it's better.
Everyone's like, all right.
All right.
I'm sure they won't care.
Yeah, really. Like, if you're already into the show, you're like, well, you're already buying it. Like, it's not real. So what? You know it's an actor. Why do you...
Not even like a lazy way, like 2.5 Men, where like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then Charlie fell off a cliff and died. Like, what? Did I make this up? Like, yeah,
Is that what
bring in
they-
Ashton Kutcher.
is that what they
Yeah,
did?
I believe it was he died by like, I don't know, but they just killed him off.
But they actually killed him off.
They killed him off.
There was no reason.
That's
it's
such a
just like-
funny show to get killed off of.
cash cow going. Yeah, like it's his show, and they're like, oh no, all right.
I mean, Charlie Sheen was... I understand they probably didn't want him anywhere near the set, but I think he's crazy enough. They could have been like, you want to come in and film some, like, crazy death scene, like, crazy final episode that you're on, and just, and people do not see it coming at all, and they're like, well, we were going to write him out, so might as well, like, kill him off on screen,
That's probably in somebody's basement. They have that footage.
They have that...
Yeah, of just some
Never
insane.
see the light.
And they just go, this is not what our audience wants. You go, yeah, you're probably right. And that thing's fun.
This is. It looks like I'm about to like lay down like an R&B hit or something.
Yeah,
Which
or
maybe I do.
maybe, you never know.
We are potting after dark.
think you
We're
have
potting
to,
after.
If it's consensual, I'll
We-
just go
Yeah,
with
I
it.
will.
We
Right.
keep these beers going,
It's
and
getting a little
we might
hot
record
here,
some
you know?
R&B.
Yeah.
Well.
I'm just gonna chew this cough drop.
That's good podcast.
Crunch that. Yeah.
Yeah, just gonna house this cough drop.
Really, on the ASMR, I mean, you can do anything if you just do it a little bit louder and articulate. Then you're really, really nailing it. But I had to.
Wonder if ASMR is if there's a business to see ASMR live. Is that a market there? You think it translates, or you think it's best
50,000 people, but
in
it's
headphones? Like in like
It'd be an interesting
that
event
would
to
be-
go to.
No, what would be interesting is if, like, movie theaters are trying to get you all in and stuff, and if they start giving headphones, that could be cool. And then the sound could like be really
Don't they do those like
immersive.
silent discos where it's like everyone has the same music on?
Yeah,
but you
exactly.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So like you're basically at like a bar, but everyone has headphones on, listening to like the same.
What's the point of that?
So I don't.
They don't get
I
noise?
I've never
Probably
been
just
to-
to be
yeah.
kind neighbors if you're in an area
Maybe
where
that
there's
could be something
Yeah.
like
an
that.
ordinance. But the only reason I know is because if you guys watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there is that one episode where they're selling Giggle Pig, which is whatever,
So
Acid or
the
something. Yeah.
fun name they came up
Yeah.
with for the street drug that's taken over the town. And they go to a silent disco, and that's where Terry runs into the girl from trying to get his daughters into preschool. This is a lot more plot for that episode than we need. It was portrayed in
And
this
then in the
popular
second
TV.
act-
There you
I'm
go.
over there. And,
You're
I think
explaining.
the guest star was.
So,
we get the gist.
so the
I mean,
reason
yeah.
Terry wants
Yeah.
his daughters in that particular preschool so badly
Let me
is
give you his backstory.
Terry's had a bit of a life, That'd be funny.
Said it.
I also told Joe and Kel. Kelly knew the story because he used to play Blacktop with us on
Yeah.
NBA 2K. The one summer where we would, you know basketball pretty well. Do you know pro and college basketball?
I know pro pretty well. College, I can fake it.
You get into it enough to watch it and stuff. So I had never played a basketball game or like don't watch basketball or anything.
Right.
Like now I watch a little college and like know the biggest guys in pros. And it was one summer, it's our summer after our freshman year. 2K was free on the PlayStation, so me and Grupas got really into 2K, and we both had jobs that we'd get off at like 2:30, and then we would play 2K and racquetball. Pretty much every like literally
It's a good 1-2 punch.
like
That
at,
old Jimmy.
at least like we'd play racquetball and then we'd get like 2 6-packs of like it was also the first time we could get like fun beer and not just have like someone like pick us up.
So
you know,
did, like a create your own kind of.
Yeah, exactly. We were finally able to get, and we're getting like linen kugels, and we're like, oh, right. I noticed the bitters, the hints of it, and it's like, you know, looking like dirtbags probably still, but also that we played racquetball and NBA 2K probably minimum 3 days a week. Every week for an entire summer, I beat him for the first time in both of those in like mid-August. He just steamrolled me the whole summer, and I never got disheartened.
The two hobbies we picked were like two of my best hobbies. That, like, I am like actually good at.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is so convenient that these
picking Sixers and racquetball. Oh wait, no, the 2K.
Also, 2K. The funniest thing in 2K was that if you won with the team, you had to switch, and so I was the Pacers all summer. And so I knew everything about the Pacers by the end of it. That was when they had Paul George, Lance Stevenson, Roy Hibbert, Danny Green,
George Hill probably. And
George Hill, yeah.
George Hill was
I could not think of the little guy. No, George Hill would piss me off because he'd come in and I'd do the Lendale, Who Let You In, which is from the Meg Who Let You In. Yes. You remember that? Lendale, Who Let You In? So that was
the family
Meg,
guy, yeah.
Meg Who Let You In is what Peter says. Yeah. But it was when like maybe it wasn't you. It was some of David's friends. It was like like you and Ty and Brett Lewis and stuff like that.
Good save.
And
I thought you weren't going to mention me there for a second. I'd be like, well, that wraps up this episode of Standing Out.
So whoever it ended up being, I just remember they were playing as the like 08 Titans or something with Chris Johnson and Wendell White. Yeah. And you set up a halfback sweep and you toss it and Wendell White has it. And all 280 pounds of Wendell White isn't beating anyone on the outside. And just, God damn it, Wendell, who let you in? But I do the same thing when I had George Hill in because he was so goddamn tiny and he stunk. And I also like didn't know position. So like I hated Roy Hibbert and I'm like, Roy Hibbert's bottom tier player in the league because like I can't shoot threes with him. And it's like, well, Adam, I don't need to explain the entire sport of basketball and positions.
No, but he didn't know basketball. Do you remember the Gasol?
Gasol.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and at one point, was it Mark or
It was Mark. He goes, dude, Mark Gasol, that kid is
I'm like,
he's
dude,
unbelievable. He
Gasol can drop.
You can't talk basketball with anyone.
He's like,
that is...
He's like, this is a safe space. You can talk about it with me.
I'll let you
I know what you're
that
talking about,
but
but don't talk about basketball with
he's
other
like, the
people.
Gasol brothers are pretty good.
I'm like, dude, Gasol can drop. And you're just going like, dude, don't talk about sports.
Yeah.
Just don't talk about basketball.
I feel like I'm playing with my girlfriend right now.
Yeah, just being like, you can't.
Is that how I've only seen that word written.
Which is, I mean, that's happens, I feel like, in video games and stuff. Unless you're listening to the announcers and stuff, you end up...
You don't, yeah, exactly.
You end up pronouncing them, and then you're just like, you're like talking to yourself, and you're thinking it like the whole time. So you're so set on that being the pronunciation.
Yeah, and then it shatters your entire universe.
Yeah,
when you're watching, you're like, whoa.
I'm like,
how many years have
I been...
But yeah, dude, Gasol can drop.
And I was like, who are you talking about?
But yeah, and then we got into Blacktop, which was just like the three arcade version.
Yeah.
You can pick any player, and we'd do the same thing. Like if you won, you had to pick 2 new players. You had to get rid of 2, and we'd also you had to pick 1 historical player, and I also never won. So I got really good. My third would always change.
I mean, legitimately, we played 500 games. I think
you
won
3.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. Insane that you kept playing though. You're not like, we can play a new game.
Yeah, no,
you never said that. You're like,
I think
run it back.
It shows 2 things. It shows my my work ethic and character, and how much I love video games. Yeah. That I'll just get my shit rolled and be like, hey, back up, back up.
I just think you had an incredible owner who's like, you know what? It's a 7-year plan, and we're really going to turn it around in 7.
And as those like we played the whole summer and I didn't win till August, so like there were some games like May and June were bad. We were bad. We were
like, I'm like trying
guys like, yeah, you gotta get a blow.
Yeah, no, I was like, dude, if there's a way I could tank for draft picks or something, I'm like, we'd do something. But I was like, Grupas was like, you can be the best team, whoever it was that year.
Like,
he's like, you can be the best team, and I was like, no, I like the Pacers.
No.
And I picked the Pacers only on like, I like the Colts, so I'm like, I'll just pick Indiana. Easy enough.
Yeah.
And they were okay. That's a good team that I mentioned.
So Indiana that year, they were They were really good. Like,
I mean,
they
dude,
would have been the
George
favorite.
I mean,
Hill
that-
was legitimately an actually good player.
Like,
Paul, I mean, yeah, Paul George.
Or Paul George, yeah.
Legitimately, they
Lance
would have
Van
been out of the
Stevenson.
East.
Lance
You know,
Stevenson was awesome. Yeah.
Obviously, top 10 of all time, probably. I would say most people would
99
say.
and ear blowing, so you know that's a little
Yeah, he had that going for him.
But yeah, there was some losses in like early August and late July that were so like spectacular. They were like old Rams losses where like up by a ton, you know, end of the game, they find everything falls the wrong way. They find a way to lose it. And I had like 8 of those. Barely forcing overtime and then just getting my shit rolled in overtime. Grupas making buzzer beaters to get back into it.
Like
and
half court, it's like,
forcing
I'm pretty sure
overtime.
that's a
Like,
glitch in the
there
game.
was so many spectacular ways I found to lose. It was wild.
Your post-game pressers got a little
Yeah,
more
they were probably tough to watch.
tough loss.
but-
We executed well, but down the stretch, you just go into coach speak. Adam, I don't know why you put yourself.
And that like Grupas did it with every different team.
Yeah, I was like, you picked my team.
He went
Yeah.
through the league a couple times.
He was the Washington Generals.
Yeah,
of the
it was
time.
like-
He
yeah.
was like,
Yeah, he started
"Adore
picking
these
like
losers."
Yeah.
you know, going to national teams, picking Japan and stuff.
Korean baseball, Korean basketball.
Basketball.
league.
Can you do that in the 2Ks?
I know you can do like some leagues, but probably not Korea.
Because
Imagine
that'd be
that.
great. Because in NHL, it's
They
always
have like
fun
the
to
European League.
you put on, you know, America versus
Right,
Japan,
yeah.
and they're like, you know,
Absolutely.
terrible, and you just beat the shit out of them.
It's a great call. I would always pick in the NHL 1999. I would always be whatever team I wanted to be. Usually the Washington Capitals. I really like Olaf Kolzing, who was their German goalie.
They're- yeah.
So not a score by any means on that.
That's
they,
re-
they had
wait,
players.
yeah.
They had
It's
players.
Do you-
person
I was the
team
goalie.
You played goalie?
So you could play everybody. It wasn't like
Yeah.
Yeah, but usually you only play goalie when he gets it, and you just pass it out.
Yes, so I did not even play goalie. You're right. No, I
Okay.
I just
I love the goalie, but all
I
you
just
do with
like
them
the-
is
yeah,
after
because
he
this guy's
saves it,
absolutely-
you just dish it out to the defenseman.
Great pass.
Yeah,
pass.
really
I
good
did-
stuff.
yeah.
No other person could do that.
This is the guy, and I would play England, and they were trash.
Just for, yeah.
To the point where if they scored, it'd be like 12-0 in the first. I'd turn that off. We're out of here.
Yeah,
Like,
no. As soon as I score, you're like, no, I'm not. They're not scoring.
I was-
I'm just gonna beat them 99-0 or something. I used to always go to Panda Express, and the way they go, like, you order and you go down the line, and like orange chicken and sweet fire chicken and like one other things that I used to get, like the pineapple chicken or something,
Yeah.
was all up close, and they just looked so good. So then I'd get them because they were my go-tos. And like one of the very last things was mushroom chicken. And I'm always like, that sounds great. Like, I should get that. And like 200
Never
times.
get that far
Because, yeah, I never got that far. And every time. And then finally, it always happened when I was with Joe Coughlin. And then finally, like, I got it one day. And he came home from work, and I was like, Joe, finally got the mushroom chicken. And he's like, how was it? I'm like, not good at all.
Average at best. Yeah.
And I'm like, I will not get it again.
I mean, at least you didn't build it up in your mind. Like,
Yeah, no, he just died laughing.
No.
It was like, that is exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you for tuning in to the Stand and Know podcast. Take it easy, nerds.
That's not the song.
You know, we add the song in after. You go, really?